This episode of the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast is brought to you by Groundhog Day is an event, not a business strategy. Are you ready to finally solve those pesky issues that keep holding back your business success and never seem to go away? Embrace the power of the spring formula that unearths the issues and opportunities burrowed beneath the surface, and grow your business so you thrive from your intersection of your brilliance and your passion. Claim your copy today at www.thegroundhogbook.com. Welcome to the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
My name is Adam Homey. I am your host, and I am honored by your wise decision to tune in and invest in yourself today. The Brilliance Plus Passion Project is about featuring people who make the world a better place by being part of it and by their contributions to it. And today, for the very first time, I am experimenting with virtual backgrounds, which look a little spooky. But what are we going to do? Also, I misjudged my schedule a little bit, and I'm not in my usual happy place to do these. But this is one of the beauties of podcasting is you don't really have to be. Anywhere you can get a good connection, you can do these conversations, and it is one of the most powerful networking, client attraction, celebrity expert branding tools that you can ever imagine. So today, we have somebody who I connected with recently, and as many of you know, the Brilliance Plus Passion Project is my outlet to open conversations with folks. Elaine was introduced to me. I'll just tell you a little bit about her. Elaine Starling, known as the Abundance Ambassador, is a sought-after TEDx speaker, international best-selling author, coach, and successful entrepreneur. Her unusual spiritual awakening prompted her to help people who crave spiritual enlightenment to partner with the divine so they achieve their financial abundance they want. Elaine leads fellow travelers on the Abundance Journey 6-week experience, sharing proven business strategies with personal development and spiritual insights that generate abundance. So now let's get into redundance, since I'm going to ask that question again in about 1 second. Elaine, welcome aboard. It's great to have you here with us.
Oh, I am thrilled to be here, and it's lovely to chat with you, Adam.
All right. So in your own words, I read off your official bio. How do you make the world a better place by what you do?
Have you ever had one of those situations where you're pulling on a door, it's time to leave, and you're yanking on this door, and it just won't budge, and you pull, and you go a little harder, and then you really give it a yank, and it's not going anywhere. And then finally you notice these great big letters that say push. And all this time you were pulling. Well, that's what a lot of people are struggling with. They don't understand how things are actually designed to support them and empower them. And they think they have to figure it out all by themselves. So they put a lot of extra pressure and a lot of extra anxiety on themselves. So I help people understand how they can partner with the divine to create everything that they really want in their lives and have a spectacular time doing it.
Yeah. So what is it that you actually do? What's the product? What's the service?
So what I do is I am a combination. I do a lot of public speaking. I'm also a trainer and a coach. And so I take people through, there are 3 different products that I work with. One is called Activate Abundance, and that's a 5-step process that allows you to really understand how to receive abundance. Another one is Conscious Abundance. It's 3 steps so you can create abundance more quickly. And the third is the Abundance Journey, which is how you design the rewarding experiences, relationships, reputation, and revenue that you want. And it also shares a lot of what I learned during my conversation with the divine.
Fantastic. As people make their decision to consider working with you, what are some of the frequently asked questions that come up?
Well, the obvious one, what is abundance? A lot of people intuitively know that it's not just money, that there's a whole lot more that they deserve access to, and they want to understand how it's really defined. The second thing is people want to understand what stops people from receiving the abundance they want. I've got a TEDx talk called Abundance is a Choice that really helps with that. And the third thing is, how can I get more abundance right now? How do I just open the floodgates? Those are the three most common questions people ask me.
Yes, give me that abundance right meow.
Yes.
As my cats would say, but they're not here now. Yeah. Yeah. What are a few questions you wish people would ask?
Well, the common questions are all kind of fear-based, and they're all about me, what I want, how do I benefit? I find that the more advanced people understand that it's through them. There's a level of commitment that they want to show up as their highest and best self, because they know when they give up themselves to others to help others be successful, that's when they get the most back. So one of the common questions those people tend to ask, I'm really committed to making a difference. How can I create the most abundance for my clients and for the other people in my life? Another question that they're often asking, what are baby steps that show me I'm on the right track, that I'm making progress? And then thirdly, how do I improve my partnership with the divine? How do I get that to be even stronger and more robust?
Yeah. So one thing that comes up, how do I create abundance for others? What I like to say is that every time I say no, I create somebody else's yes. Since at my very beginnings in entrepreneurship, in fact, one of the things that I should have embraced a little bit sooner, but I embraced it early enough, was the principle of saying no to success. Which means in order to be successful, if you're not saying no about 90% of the time, you're probably letting too much in. Now, different people have different percentages, but that seems to be about my guidelines. So I've had prospects come to me for my services who, on paper, they check off all the boxes. And I like them as people. We even have a good conversation, but there's something about it that's telling me, no. So I've learned to energetically just not let that in. I wish them all the success in the world, but maybe it's something that came up in the conversation. Maybe it's something about the vibe that made me think, you know what? There's red flags here. I even if I can't quite see them, my intuition is telling me that I'm going to regret this, because I know what it feels like to take things on and regret them. Believe me.
Yeah, you intuitively know if somebody's committed or not, if they're really passionate about what they're going to create, and if they're going to stay the course and follow the directions that you give them. Right. They're really picking up on that.
Right. To finish my thought, me saying no creates somebody else's yes, because there's somebody out there who has been praying or requesting or doing the lotus position on their couch with the window open and their arms spread out or whatever, saying, I want that client. And because I didn't step in and take for myself something that maybe didn't really belong there, I created that opportunity for a better match for everybody involved. I'm perfectly okay doing that, because I know what it's like to receive other people's sounds good but not for me type opportunities.
There's room for everybody.
Exactly. So let's shift and have a little bit of fun here. This is the part where I like to say to folks, wow, I can show this to my friends and they'll finally understand what I do and stop making jokes about it. So this is where, so the first question actually has to do with the people in your life who may see this and get a little bit of a surprise about Elaine. So what would people who know you be surprised to learn about you?
People who already know me. If they already know me, I don't think they would be too surprised. That the people who don't really know me don't know about the stroke that I had at age 43 on vacation in New Zealand on New Year's Day, 2005.
Holy moly.
Yeah. And during that stroke, it was the biggest blessing in my life, because during that stroke, I got to have a conversation with the divine, and I got a complete download about how everything works and why we're alive and how we can live our best lives and what happens next after this life. And don't worry about that part. It's a graduation. It's nothing to freak out about. Focus on the here and now, because everything is really designed to support you and help you. And I'm very open about that experience with the people that already know me, because it does one of two things. Either people get it and they're curious and they're interested and they lean in to learn more, or it's just really uncomfortable and they can't go there and they aren't comfortable with that. And that's perfectly fine. You know, wherever you are in your experience is the perfect experience.
Exactly. I could not possibly agree with that more. So what do you hope people say about you when you're not around to hear it?
I really hope that they say that I truly embody abundance, that I make abundance contagious.
Yeah.
That's my goal. I want abundance to be contagious for everybody. I want to infect you right now.
All right. So basically you want to start an endemic of abundance. I love it. So if you could go back in time and change one thing you've done, one thing that's happened, one thing you've experienced, what would it be and why?
Man, I'm embarrassed to admit it, but after I had that incredible experience with the divine, I freaked out because before that, I didn't woo, let alone woo woo. And here I was just completely indoctrinated in something that was so incredibly foreign and uncomfortable for me, coming from a very left brain space, analytical space. And I really wish I had jumped in more rapidly. I got to spend 10 years after my stroke helping my parents and my in-laws with end of life. And so everything that I'd learned, I got a chance to apply, and it made my life so much better. But then I got a very clear message: you must share this with others. And I was like, but now I'm there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's you know, I have a thought on this, but we're going to ask the next question, and I'm going to circle back to it. What famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet, and what question would you have for them if you had the opportunity?
You know, I would love to meet the Dalai Lama. And his energy is so uplifting and so empowering and so loving. And I experience the divine as effervescent joy, just over the top happiness, delight, wonder, silly, outrageous. And so I suspect we would just giggle at each other a lot. But if I could finally control myself, I would ask the Dalai Lama to join me in an intention. And I would share a specific intention with him.
Yeah, what's interesting about the answers to the two questions you gave about the intervention of the divine, and I wanted to just sort of skip ahead and see who your person was. From the time I was about maybe 12 or 13 years old until I was 37, I would from time to time receive visits from the spirit of a controversial historical figure. Somebody very, very, very controversial. And he would say to me in English with a very heavy Italian accent, I've pretty much already given it away. He would say just over and over again, make sure they know I tried to stop it. Make sure they know the truth. And I didn't know what he was telling me by that. It's like, yeah, I study history, and this probably was brought on because I was up really late at night reading a book about him or something. I don't know. But the message was that if I looked at his biography, there was a specific incident where if he had simply followed through with something that would have been very difficult for him to do, he could have saved 20 million lives. The message was that sometimes you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, that you're going to have to do things that are unpopular in order to serve your best interests, and also in doing so, abundantly serve the best interests of other people, even if it doesn't look like it's that at the time. It also reminds me of one of my other favorite expressions: God draws straight with crooked lines.
I haven't heard that before. Yeah, so true.
Yeah, so the purpose of these visits was revealed during hypnotherapy, and once I received the message, the visits stopped because, thank God, because I was starting to get really bored with it already. And but the other piece of it, and I consulted a spirit medium over this, is it's possible that folks acquire karmic debt while they're alive in this world, living this life, and if you believe in a God or you believe in a divine force, that that God or that force could say to these people when they seek their entry into the next life, they could say, well, maybe, but you got a little mess to clean up. So it was suggested to me it's possible this person has now been on a mission, or maybe they've completed it, who knows, and maybe they went to heaven or maybe they went to hell anyway, that to find people who were harming their own journey by not being strong in difficult situations and urging them to do so, and just the shock value of they themselves being the messenger helping to make it clear.
Yeah. That is so cool. That is really neat. I love hearing about your experiences because, you are not that far from all of that than you think you are. We live a very limited experience in physical bodies, and we are so much more than our physical bodies.
Yeah, absolutely. So what motivates and inspires you to keep going when you're having a tough time or facing a challenge?
I just know that it's not about me, right? It is a part of my journey and it's all through me. So I am always looking for, how is this actually a blessing for me? It's an opportunity for me to have a different perspective than I had before, or to practice something like, listening or being fully present. I get little reminders on those all the time. And also to actually notice my progress, because I think it's too easy to discount what you just did and think, but look at all this stuff I still have to do. And we really need to anchor in that we're making progress. So I always take the time to look at those aspects of what's happening. And that gives me solace and keeps me going.
Absolutely. Now, in a moment, we're going to be done here. We're right near the end. And before we do, I know you have a gift for our listeners, and I'm going to introduce that on your behalf. So I'm going to cover that piece. So I'm going to ask you, generally speaking, what is one thing you would urge people to do as soon as they finish streaming this?
I would love for you to reach out to somebody you haven't talked to in a couple of months, at least, maybe longer, and just take a quick minute to acknowledge something about them that you find valuable and appreciate the difference that has made for you in your life. Because when you acknowledge and appreciate, that's when you're fully present. And people rarely feel seen and heard and valued. It is the most loving thing you can do. And whenever you do that, you acknowledge and appreciate someone else, it always comes back to you tenfold in ways you could never anticipate. So that's what I would really encourage you to do.
Hey, it looks like I got some memes to send. All right. So for our listeners, here's the long-awaited gift that you've been waiting for almost 12 seconds. If you go to theabundancejourney.com/50SA, that's the letter O, not the number O, 50SA-form. Look in the notes on this episode. You'll see it down there. You'll find it there. And let me just tell you what it is. It is the 5 steps for online abundance. That's what those little letters stand for. So what you give is what you receive. So you want to continually give abundance wherever you go. It's not a zero-sum game. There's plenty for everybody. There are 5 actions you can use to create abundance online, and these actions will quickly build relationships because they are so valued. I'm going to check this out myself because just by that description, it almost sounds like our curriculum for our podcast reachers and how to use podcasting as their networking, client attraction, and celebrity expert branding tool. So I'm guessing it doesn't have to do with copy pasting long sales scripts into the DMs of people you connected with 12 seconds ago.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but I have a funny feeling. I'm going to download this, and I have a funny feeling it's actually going to sound close to our curriculum. I'm feeling that resonance. So again, for our listeners, theabundancejourney.com/50SA-form. Go check that out. And with that, Elaine Starling, thank you so much for being with us today. It has been an honor, and believe me, an education.
Thank you so much, Adam. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.